We are the last remaining podcast.
No, I mean this is the last one for us, right? This is 158. Like this. Yeah. Anyway,
Hideous number to stop on, but sure.
yeah. What if you just like something gross like 233? They're just like what? Anyway, this week we are reviewing The Creator before AI takes over our jobs and actually does this for us. So yeah. Anyway, how are we doing?
Good. Surviving amongst our AI overlords, behind enemy lines. It's all good.
Behind enemy lines.
Making it happen. All right.
They've accepted me as one of their own.
You are the John David Washington, if you will, in this scenario.
Thanks.
Their Creator came out last week. By the time that you're listening to this, 2023 film, PG-13, 2 hours, 13 minutes long. Against the backdrop of war between humans and robots with artificial intelligence, a former soldier finds the secret weapon, a robot in the form of a young child. Written and directed by Gareth Edwards. Chris Weitz also has a writing credit, has a 7.2 on IMDb. #1 trending popularity movie overall right now, which is crazy because there is a Paw Patrol and Saw movie out right now that are just kicking this thing's ass at the box office. 63 Metascore. Chris Weitz has a really interesting career. Just wanted to highlight him for a second. He's the writer of the comedy classic About a Boy and a movie that we love, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Also, The Golden Compass, and he helped write Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So these two
is About a Boy actually a comedy classic? Because I've never heard of that in my life.
Tej, you're older than us. Would you care to comment?
I wouldn't call it a classic, but I have heard of it.
Okay, because you said that, and I was like, "Did I just?"
I feel like
I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic or like.
I think I've seen it actually. I think I've seen it.
No, I genuinely, when I say this, like I think people really like refer to like that's Hugh Grant's like big one.
Yeah, they are big on. It's not my personal favorite brand of Hugh Grant, but it is one of the big ones that people really like.
Oh damn! This made $130 million at the box office.
Right when he was rolling, Hugh
93 on Rotten Tomatoes. What the fuck?
Yeah. What do you mean by rolling? You gotta be specific.
Well,
Hugh Grant's lived a life, brother.
At the box office, I think.
There we go.
When Hugh Grant was rolling, he was like the biggest draw in comedies ever, and just like self-aware comedies ever. It's really crazy how big of a star he actually was. Anyway, The Creator. So do we want to play who else is in this movie besides John David Washington and Gemma Chan?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, there are a couple people that we know.
I mean, Alice and
the blind
Janney.
guy from Star Wars.
Alice and Janney's there.
Alice and Janney and Ken Watanabe from several projects.
That's about it, though.
This new newcomer, obviously, first project she's ever been in, as Alfie, Madeline Voyos is I believe how you pronounce her name. And can I just get this out of the way? She was fucking awesome. She was incredible.
She rules.
I thought she was great.
Yeah, I thought she did a good job.
She's my favorite movie character of the year so far. I will protect her with my life.
Wow, that is a statement. That is a Jesus.
Who's her competition, if we're being honest?
She's literally getting beat at the box office right now by Jigsaw, who's the greatest movie character of all time. He's back. He's literally back.
I will never watch a Saw movie. So that has nothing to do with me.
Personally, for me, it was Jason Momoa from Fast and Furious X. But we don't.
This is fair.
That was greatness. Too bad that movie wasn't good, but that character was greatness indeed.
And not for nothing, I don't know, Tej, if you don't know any country artist, but Sturgill Simpson is in this movie as well.
Wait, that's Sturgill Simpson?
Yeah, he's the guy that helps him along the way, Drew, his friend that he finds.
I didn't realize that's what Sturgill Simpson looks like.
The guy that was like, oh, okay, the friend guy, got it.
No, the guy that was married to the robot at the very end.
I'm glad you prefaced that because I have heard of the name Sturgill Simpson, but I only remembered it because it has alliteration and I remember names like that, but I have no idea who that is. Like, I have no context of what that.
He's like
means.
making a transition into being an actor because he's also in Killers of the Flower Moon coming up.
Oh, turn that up.
Oh,
Look
well,
at
I'll
him
be
go.
seeing him again.
Like a hell of a 2 projects to like start. He's like, I only pick good shit, you know? Like he's like,
He's
Is
on
he
the
like
Janelle
a
Monáe path.
a successful musician, or is he transitioning because he needs another bag, or because he's like getting a multiple bags because he's making a lot of money from music?
He's
I don't
successful
think
in his way.
in his way, like in the way that like indie country can be successful. People fucking
Got
love
it.
Sturgill Simpson, but like, yeah, it's like it's not, you know,
Yeah, he's if
Katy
you know,
Perry
you know,
levels. It
successful.
ain't, you know.
Is he more successful or less successful than Pat Green, who every kid in my high school listened to Pat Green except for me? I did not. But Pat Green was very popular when I was in Texas. He was extremely popular in Texas.
You know what? Probably the same. You know,
That's fair.
actually.
Yeah, I don't remember which one of those Beyonce albums it was that got robbed of the Grammys, but he was also nominated that year, and we were all like, "Well, if they give it to Sturgill Simpson, that kind of makes sense." Like he's one of those artists where it's like,
Yeah. He like
yeah.
takes mushrooms and plays the guitar for like 10 hours on his albums. It's like that's what he does.
I took mushrooms before I watched The Creator, so I feel him on that.
Oh, so that's where you are with this movie. Anyway, $80 million budget. You want to play guess the box office?
37 million.
58.
You almost hit the nail on the head, Teach. 35 million worldwide.
Damn.
I've heard almost no one talking about this movie. Although the people I have heard talk about this movie have all been more positive on this movie than I am. Only slightly, but
Well, which
all
is
more
crazy
positive.
because when the trailer dropped, people were like, yes, original sci-fi. Fuck yeah. John
Yes,
David Washington,
facts.
Gareth Edwards, Rogue One, remember? And then nobody got to the theater. Like, whatever.
I was
y'all wanted
very
to see
excited
Saw.
when I saw that trailer. But the trailer for this film is better than this film. And you see most of the cool shit from the movie is in that trailer. At least 60% of the cool shit you see in this movie is in that trailer. Which makes sense. You have to market it. It's original sci-fi, so you have to show people something.
You're just a big Aerosmith fan, right?
I mean, that song does fucking bang. I mean, it works. It just works. So, I mean, I have been tricked by the song that they picked for the trailer many times in my life. So this wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be the last.
68% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, 77% audience score. Visually stunning and packed with spectacular set pieces. The creator serves up timely, well-acted sci-fi that satisfies in the moment, even if it lacks substance. Tej, go ahead. I want to hear what you think about it and why. Lead off with some negativity.
We had some really, really good ideas in this movie. I love the way this movie opens. When you show the little video from the press, first of all, they're showing the like robotic AI videos, and they show the video from the president that basically spells out the fact that America has beef with AI because a nuke went off that was blamed on AI. You later find out, well, I guess I won't spoil it yet, but they blamed this nuke going off on AI, and they basically declared war on AI, which was really to eradicate AI from the Western world. Amazing premise, great setup. The movie looks incredible from start to finish. The cast is good. Hans Zimmer, you know, we talk about him all the time on this podcast, but he's just incredible. He just can do stuff that nobody else can do. He's phenomenal. There's some really good stuff in this film. The special effects are really cool. The way that you're showing the spaceships kind of hovering over the planet, like some of that stuff was really cool. But if you ask yourself one question in this movie, and you will ask yourself 50 questions in this movie, but the whole plot falls apart. There are so many questions I have about how the AI works, how the robots work, how our main character, or I guess our co-lead character, works. This is in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. The little girl is like a robot. She's a robot. She's a secret weapon. She's the savior of the robots, and she's a secret weapon that's going to destroy humanity, or at least free the robots from their servitude. But so much of the logic of this movie makes no sense. And I won't dig deep into those questions because I have at least 90 of them. I was texting Marcus angrily after I walked out of this movie. There are emotional beats in this movie that are supposed to be emotional, and you got the Hans Zimmer score going in the background, and you got baby Denzel operating on a pretty good level. You have the kid that's operating on a good level, and I felt nothing. And by the way, I was on mushrooms, which make you a little bit more emotional. I felt nothing. I felt absolutely nothing. We did not answer any questions about these robots, how things work. There were some times where the robots would have like regular robot powers that would make sense, but then there'd be other times where that would just be taken away from them, and they just would end up in another situation where the robot wouldn't be able to move or like wouldn't even be able to operate like a robot. There's a scene in this film literally where all the robots are back at their village. They're all wearing clothes. They're all yelling and screaming when they get shot, and they're all sleeping at the same exact time, which allows our main character to sneak onto a base full of robots, and the robots are quite literally sleeping, and there's no detection, nothing. The robot is holding the weapon, and really, the robot's holding the weapon like a human being in a hammock, and every robot on site is just sleep right now. Every robot's powered down. We don't have any sensory detection, so we just basically Denzel Washington or John David Washington gets to walk up to a robot, quite literally flip one switch that's right on his neck and put him into standby. Some of this stuff really doesn't make sense. And I understand that it's a big action movie, it's a big sci-fi movie, so the plot points can be scarce, but some of this stuff actually makes no sense to the premise of the film. There's a scene at the end of this film where our main character is aboard the spaceship of the new of the Western Hemisphere of the New Americans. It's called the Nomad, I believe. So our robot's on the Nomad, and our robot doesn't know how to get to the control room, but she's a robot, so she probably has some kind of map or tracking. It makes perfect sense. You don't really have to ask how the robot knows how to get to the control room. But after the robot leaves the control room, the robot takes a wrong turn and ends up in a room full of robots. Now, I just said at the beginning of my spiel, the whole premise of this film is that the Americans are trying to eradicate AI. They're trying to get rid of AI. However, on their big spaceship, which is the most important thing of the movie, it's like the fucking Death Star, there's a room full of robots in it. That literally makes no sense. You told me at the beginning of this movie that the goal of these people on this spaceship were to get rid of robots. And also, how does my main character know how to get to the control room but take a wrong turn going back? She's going back to the same place she came from. There's so much of this. There's so much of the robot logic that literally makes no sense. I have 100 of these little quirks that are just like they start to add up. I watched this movie with Mo. We were unemotional as hell, and we both loved. We will cry during commercials. I'll cry for anything. I was on mushrooms. I was ready to cry. I couldn't cry at some of this stuff. Literally makes no sense. And the last hour of this film is fun, but it is a complete fucking mess, and it really took away from my enjoyment of the film. We had some cool ideas. I think we had a cool basis, but the script is just incredibly bad. They didn't give these actors much to work with, and the logical fallacies of it literally messed up my ending of the film. We get to our big finale, and it all meant nothing to me because I had way too many questions about how the robots work or what their goals were. I ended up giving a B-. I didn't. This is not a boring film. I was never bored. I was just, and I wouldn't say that I was confused. It was just like we just wrote over stuff. We were just like, whatever. I still have no idea how the main character in this movie has lost his arm. It's literally unaddressed. He just walks around with no arm. He puts on his robot arm.
Wars,
bro. They don't. You showed John David Washington,
a new
able-bodied man with two arms, with one arm, and you don't even think to even tell the viewer how that to me that there's so many insane decisions in this movie. I was really frustrated by the script and the plot. I was super frustrated by it. Cool idea. I thought we needed to really flesh out some of the backstory. We had to really flesh out some of the rules of why are there clones in this movie? It literally is not explained. Some people are cloned. All of a sudden, we see a clone of a guy. We see a clone of Gemma Chan, and it kind of just like, they're clones in this, just cloned in this world, and we just keep going. Like I hate when you have a really good idea, some really cool cinematography, some great scenes. I hate when you have that basis there. We got a great cast. We have that basis to make something really cool, and instead, because of our script writing and because of our plot development and lack thereof, we've ended up with a dud at the end of our movie. I hate that feeling. I gave it a B-. But this movie could have been so much more to me. I gave it a B-.
My man's trying to have a hoop conversation with charts and graphs, man.
Yeah, man.
I didn't want to. I wanted to be a mess, and I want to be crying. He's literally holding the baby, which I have a lot of questions about this baby. I have so many questions. This baby gets shot in this movie. The baby gets shot. Oh my God, the baby's shot. Take the baby to Namara, who's the baby's mother. Okay, we take the robot over to the baby's mother. We flip scenes. The baby's mother, I won't spoil it, but the baby's mother is no help at all. And the baby is just fine. Why did we do the whole emotional thing when the baby got shot? If we're going to flip the scene and then the baby is quite literally just fine. There's just so many weird decisions in this movie, and they're just like, whatever, just write it, just like it'll just go. I was furious by the way they were doing this writing. The last hour of this movie made me as mad as almost any movie I've seen in theaters. Like even more mad than Beau is Afraid, which I had a great time in, obviously. Way more mad than Beau is Afraid. The way that Dex felt after watching Beau is Afraid is the way I felt at the end of the
about the creator, and that ruined your
and
enjoyment.
You just let Beau's Afraid
like, yeah,
fly.
Because Beau is Afraid didn't make any sense from the first second of the film. So it was the first second of the creator, the first hour makes a ton of sense. I was having a great time. And then all of a sudden it was like, wait a second. None of this actually makes any sense upon further inspection. And I wish I didn't have to ask myself those questions, but I literally had to, because some stuff just was not making any sense at all. The control room is the most important part of this shit, because that's how you disable it, right? We have 100 humans on screen doing different stuff. Nobody was in the control room. There was not a guard, a robot, a nothing. This robot just walked into the control room. There's no one there. There's no one around.
There's a hole in the plane.
It frustrated me so much, because we could have had something very cool, but instead we took shortcuts, and those shortcuts really hurt the film. I gave it a B-.
There are shortcuts. I'm not like, you're right. Also,
I know that y'all agree with the shortcuts, because y'all both said to me, hey, the last hour of this movie is like, there's a lot going on. I really enjoyed it, but the last hour of this movie is something.
Yeah, I didn't have any of the problems you had with this movie though. Like the reason I think it's a mess is all like message wise. Like the theme of it doesn't make sense, or like it makes sense, but they don't. So the problem I have with this movie is that it hints at saying a lot of different things, but never actually says anything. So it just wants you to fill in the blanks basically and be like, this is what the point of this movie was. But I usually hate that. I think that's kind of silly, but I was willing to let them rock on this one, because like you had a cute kid in the movie, and it was adorable, and that just worked. So yeah, like all the like little how does the world work, like plot nitpicks of it, I don't really get bothered by, because like they made humanoid robots and they're like integrated into society. I don't have any further questions. like that's how all this shit works. They made humanoid robots out of AI.
It's worked in every movie, every sci-fi movie ever.
Yeah, this is what they do. Why can they just turn it off with a little switch? Because they can. Like they made these robots.
Because literally they can.
Because they can. You made the robots. You can turn them off. Cool. Why are you cloning multiple likenesses of the same person? Because you can. She donated.
Well, they mentioned that too. They're like, they lend your face to the cause, because it seems to me that they don't like start. There's some of these robots that don't have humanoid faces, that are just like droids from Star Wars.
Yeah, and they like got better at doing this, and they were like, let's make them look like people. That'll be fun. We can start.
Did the brown guy lend his face? But the first clone you see is the brown guy, but the brown guy is a human who's fighting against the robots. And so then all of a sudden we see a robot that walks by with his face, and it's literally never explained. It's just like, no, they just have a robot with this guy's face now who's able to like infiltrate that. I was just this movie is insane.
They like his face. They kept using it. But yeah, I didn't have any of like that. That none of that really bothered me. I can understand why it would bother other people, but whatever. I was willing to just let the whole thing wash over me, except that they didn't really have anything to say by the end of this movie. But I'm a sucker for
nothing new, at least.
Honestly, I don't even know if they said anything.
I don't think they said anything. I'm with Dex. Nothing new or nothing old. Like nothing.
Yeah, like you come away from this, and I guess the message is like,
love your neighbor.
Love your neighbor. Humanity is, I don't know, all the friends we made along the way. Like it's not like I don't know what I would point to and say like, yeah, this is what the creator was trying to say. But yeah, I'm a sucker for all of these, like what makes something human. Like we built these machines or these monsters or whatever, and they're just as human as we are, maybe more human than we are, blah blah blah. Like been a sucker for all that shit since I took we had like a 6-week course on it in high school that I fucking love. We started with Frankenstein and we just worked backwards from there, and it was great. So any movie, TV show, book that touches on these kind of topics, I'm here for. And the creator, it like scratches all those itches. It's not perfect. It's not as good as fucking reading Frankenstein or watching Blade Runner or any of these other projects that touch on all these themes, but it gets enough of it right that I'm willing to let it cook. I gave it a B+. John David Washington is fun. The kid, Alfie, I love her. I'll protect her with my life. She's fun. There's some laughs in this movie that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to just be serious and take itself very seriously the entire time. But no, they were making jokes and my theater was laughing and it was a great time. And B+. Action was dope. Music's dope. Let it wash over you.
Oh, this is just they do every sci-fi movie that has ever been done before, but it looks awesome. Beautiful gowns. Like
beautiful gowns.
Look, I agree with both of you, actually, which when you do that, then it would sound like this is a shitty movie, but it's not because I sat there and watched it with my eyes and I know that it's not. I don't know. Something about it. I was really intrigued, and maybe this doesn't make a good movie, but I was really intrigued that somebody took a risk to do, quote unquote, an original sci-fi movie with $80 million and the backing of 20th Century, and they trusted them to do that, and we don't get that very often. Now, does that make this like a superb movie? No, but I'm glad they took the chance on doing it. I really like Gareth Edwards' direction, art style, the performances he gets from his actors. I like all of that. Yeah, probably his writing leaves something to be desired. I personally, where I would take points off, and Dex and I were having this conversation, I'm not there with John David Washington as leading action star.
Wow. Wow.
I ain't there.
I am.
You didn't fuck with Tenet.
I love Black Klansman. I think that is exactly what he can be doing. Comedy guy. He has perfect comedic timing. I think he's really charismatic.
He's really funny.
In that, and
also his voice just sounds dumb and makes him funny. Like, something about his voice is just off. It's like, why do you sound like that?
It's just like not quite Denzel Washington.
Yeah, it's like what?
That's not fair,
wrong?
But it's like
it's like Denzel Washington meets Eric Gordon. Like, it's weird.
Oh my god, he does kind of sound like Denzel in some of the line reads where it was like, all right, there's a little Denzel there, but Eric Gordon that's bad. That's not
man.
good.
That
That's
was sweet to see.
That's not a compliment.
Anyway, leading action star with he tries to give it his best try with emotional depth, and especially the moments between him and AI daughter. And I think that it just falls a little short to me. We were talking, Dex and I were talking after he saw it, and I was just thinking, I was like, what if this was someone with more emotional range? And then I texted Kaluuya, but then Dex was like, have we ever seen Kaluuya run?
Yeah.
And you're like,
have we ever seen him run or shoot a gun?
Yeah, I don't know. But I think somebody with a little bit more.
He runs in Nope. He runs.
Rides a horse.
He rides a horse too.
I don't know. I was thinking if we've had somebody with a little bit more emotional depth, this may have played out. I would have given it a few more points, I think.
Then Gemma Chan would have been just completely acted off the screen.
You and your Gemma Chan thing, man.
She can't act. She's not good.
We'll let you shoot. We'll let you get off that take here in a second. But I think it is a combination of every single sci-fi movie that you've seen before, with some awesome set pieces, some
If you've
larger
never seen
ideas.
Star Wars, this some of this visual stuff would literally blow your mind. If you've
Yeah.
never seen a Star Wars film, you're going to be thinking like, holy shit, I just advanced 25 years in the technology and in the ideas of sci-fi. If you just walked in and did not know what Star Wars have been doing for the last 50 years.
I mean, the makeup on the humanoid robots with like the holes in their head or whatever, it just is like crazy. It's
Super
crazy
cool
to look
looking.
at. Yeah, and it feels like a lot of it it just blended so well. It feels like a lot of it is practical. Now, yeah, there are some bigger ideas like that they touch on that they don't comment on at all. Like you can transfer consciousness. Hey, can we talk about that a little bit more? You know, you can upload your consciousness, which is something
And
that
you could give someone like 30 seconds a reset of life. We just put a chip into their brain and they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, you can be alive for another 30 seconds. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen that in a movie before. And then we're just like, all right, we use that for the gag. We're done with that.
Right.
Like, we're good.
This is lacking in like a real true, I think, villain. I think Allison Janney does a good enough job, but it is mostly like it's like America Bad, you know, and that works for most movies, but it just kind of is like we know how that's going to end up, and
and it's extra whack because it's like not even like America is like humanity is bad. Like if you all humans were bad, it would hit a little different, I think. But it's like literally just American humans bad. Like the Asians are like they're chilling, they're cool. We fuck with them.
Yeah.
Or the new Asians, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that like Gareth Edwards is obsessed with like samurai movies and westerns and things like that from all of his films. And no, I genuinely was just blown away because while the last hour of this movie, some parts do feel rushed, I was like just on the edge of my seat going like, oh fuck, like, you know, just with the battles and them literally doing a Star War at the end of the movie. They did A New Hope at the end of this movie, by the way. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything.
Big episode 6 vibes at the episode 6 vibes at the end of this.
Yeah, I don't have anything other than like that boy Nice Watcher. Like that's like how I feel about this movie. Like I don't know, you know, like sometimes that just works for me. Are there ideas that they definitely should have explored more and in the hands of somebody like that could have fleshed this out a little bit better? Yeah, you know, if you give this to a adept screenwriter, I don't know who.
Give this to Denny V.
Yeah,
it was something different.
Yeah, but then this would have been boring.
If they had given
it would have been 3 hours and
well-known screenwriter $10,000 and said, hey, here's what we think is our final script. Rip it apart. We could have made something truly special, but we didn't do that. And we really needed another pen in the room in the writer's team. We really needed someone to read the script and be like, hey, these 17 things don't really make sense, but otherwise you got a great idea here. How are you going to make these 17 things make sense to me?
Well, there's an idea. It feels like this movie is supposed to be, there's stuff cut out. There's like an hour cut out of this movie, right?
Maybe not an hour, but there's definitely stuff cut out of this movie.
There's like it feels like there is like the studio was like, we need to make this more of an action movie instead of like a journey movie. And yeah. So
add in a couple nukes, a couple explosions, take out half of that journey stuff. Just get out of there. Get out of there. It feels like
I really think that there's going to be a director's cut of this movie eventually. Anyway, I gave it an A- at the time. I think I'm sitting at a B+ now that I think about it. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, yeah. Dex, do your Jimmy Chan thing.
Yeah, dude, because I don't think this is fair. I don't think she's the best actress, obviously, but I don't think she's bad.
I think she's bad. I saw Crazy Rich Asians, and like everyone else, I was like, Gemma Chan is her. She's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen on a movie screen. Can't take my eyes off her. Love her. She's great. She's incredible. Can't wait to see what she does next. And then she started doing more things, and it was like, Is Gemma Chan good at acting, or is she just hot? Like, because she was on that there's that probation that some actors and actresses have. Michael B. Jordan was in that probation for a little while too, but I think Michael B. Jordan can act. And sometimes you're like, I don't know, they can actually act, or if they're just really hot and it just works. Like, you know, and there's a lot of actors who beat those allegations. Like I said, Michael B. Jordan beat the allegations. Margot Robbie beat the allegations. Henry Cavill, jury's still out. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. But Gemma Chan does not beat the allegations. The allegations have won against Gemma Chan. She cannot act. We saw Eternals. She ain't have it.
Eternals was not her fault, brother.
Did she have it or did she not have it? How many times we gonna keep making excuses? Okay. At some point, Jimmy G got all the weapons. You just gotta say Jimmy G just ain't the guy. You know what I'm saying? She is Jimmy G. Okay. Like she's just not her. It is what it is.
Saying look the part all-star.
Look the part all-star, literally. Like they had her be the MacGuffin in this movie so she wouldn't have to talk for too long. Like, they were like, we're gonna literally,
I don't know if that's why they did it, but
we're literally gonna put her on ice. Like, and just, like have her say like one or two lines every 30 minutes.
She literally had like 4 lines in this movie. How do you think she did such a bad job? She said like 4 things.
Were any of them good? Were you moved by any of them?
I wasn't moved by anything in this film, so she felt like she blended in to me.
I've been moved by John David Washington before. Have you ever been moved by Gemma Chan?
Roy hasn't.
Yeah, he was moved in Black Klansman.
I like moved. Black Klansman. We all felt something. I felt white guilt.
I felt white guilt.
Gemma Chan has never made me feel anything outside of Crazy Rich Asians. She had one hot song. All right, that's it. She's not her. It's over.
I can't say she's never made me feel anything outside of Crazy Rich Asians either. I didn't think she was bad in this movie, but I do agree that she's never made me feel anything outside of Crazy Rich Asians. But I want to give her more time. I want to still have her on the clock for I want to still have her application pending because she might. I don't think she's her, but I think she might be a perfectly mediocre actress that, of course, is great looking and going to keep getting jobs. But maybe she's bad. I haven't gotten that. I haven't sniffed a bad whiff yet of Gemma Chan, though. I have not seen her be actively horrible in something yet. Like I have seen what's his face that played Freddie Mercury. I've seen him be actively bad in like 5 things now.
Rami Malek, yeah, Rami Malek stinks. Yeah, we'll see. I'm out on Gemma Chan. It's over for me. I'm out. Like,
you're
don't
selling
worry,
your stock.
No, nothing. Like, I don't know. I don't know what we're waiting on, guys. Like, how many more of these we gonna do? And honestly, if she keeps getting these nothing roles, I feel like that might be a sign.
Damn.
My man would give up on Justin Herbert too.
No, I wouldn't. Justin Herbert moves me. But would I give up on Jimmy G? Yes, I would. He's out of here.
I would also give up on Jimmy G. So if she's Jimmy G, then you sell the stock. Sell now.
Do your spoilers.
Okay, well, spoiler warning. If you have not seen this film, see this film. It's enjoyable before you continue with this podcast because I'm going to spoil the shit out of this film now. I'm going to just fire about 37 questions at y'all, and I want you to answer them to the best of your ability. Okay.
Oh, no.
Did you take notes? Did you have a pen and paper?
No, I have a text message thread with Marcus about all the shit that I was like, what the fuck did we just do? So there's a point in this. The plot of this film basically is that John David Washington is going on this trip to save America in the Western Hemisphere from AI, but really he's going on this trip because he thinks that his wife is still alive. He thought his wife was dead because his wife, quote unquote, dies with his pregnant, and she's pregnant at the time. She, quote unquote, dies at the beginning of the movie. So he's going to get his wife after 5 years. His wife is Gemma Chan. So the big twist of this film is that Gemma Chan was supposed to be the daughter of a terrorist who the Americans call the terrorist, but really she is the terrorist, and he didn't know. Okay, that's fine. We have our
the god of the AI. The AI have That's
I mean, her
another
dad
question.
was the terrorist, but now she's inherited the terrorist.
Now she's inherited. She took on the mantle of Nimrata, right? So
Inheritance.
cool. So when John David Washington first meets our weapon, meets Alfie, he's asking like, "Do you know my wife? Where's my wife? Where is she?" Alfie is a bit hesitant to even. First of all, when he meets Alfie, Alfie don't know no English, and then in the next scene, Alfie is speaking English again. Which, okay, maybe she's a robot. Maybe she downloaded it from the cloud. Like maybe that's how this happened.
She downloaded it off the little radio joint.
Maybe she downloaded it off the cloud. Okay, cool.
She literally
she
was
grabbed
like
the radio
sitting
thing.
I think you
little
missed
radio
half this
thing.
movie because you were on mushrooms.
No, that's not true.
He was
Mushrooms
like
make you think better.
every
It's not worse
little
than
radio station real quick, and then she learned
Okay,
English.
so she scanned the radio. She learned English. Okay, cool. So he wants to go to Nimrata, and Alfie is just basically either not answering these questions or coming up with some reason not to, like something happens, right? There's some intervening event. So the whole movie, we're trying to get to Nimrata. Alfie's not really giving the information, even though you assume that Alfie knows this is my father, or my father in quotes. This is my dad, and mother is sick. And actually, all of these robots need our hero to go to Nimrata, specifically because Nimrata is a vegetable, and Nimrata want to let Nimrata die, but the robots themselves cannot kill Nimrata. They cannot end life.
They can't kill God.
They can't kill God, right? So there's like, we need you to come and kill God. So the way that we get to Nimrata is the robot gets shot. First of all, nobody mentioned this. Those little running bombs were the coolest thing ever. They were amazing. That was the coolest part of the movie.
That was so dope.
That was so fucking dope. I had a great time.
They're like, hey, thank you for activating me.
Those things were amazing. So our little weapon gets shot, and we don't really have any sense of, can this weapon die? Is this weapon even mortal? Can this weapon feel pain? All we know is that this little girl acts like a little girl, like a little human girl. She cries, she hugs, she tells jokes, she laughs at stuff. Like, she acts like a human, but we know that she's not a human. So now she gets shot, and it's like, oh my God. And John David Washington's got this big hero moment. Oh my God, Alfie. He comes and scoops her up. And so they tell John David Washington, they say at this point, take her to Nimrata. That's who's going to help her. And this makes sense, right? She's the grand designer of these robots. She made this particular child. She made this super weapon. If anyone can fix the super weapon that now has been shot, it's Nimrata. It makes perfect sense, right? So we get there into this castle that is literally on the top of a mountain. It seems like the Americans could have found this extremely easily. It's a big-ass Iron Man hat on top of a mountain. I don't think it's that hard to find. But anyway, so they get there, and Nimrata is a vegetable. So Nimrata is not dead or alive. And when we get there, Alfie is laying on the bed with Nimrata. She hops up. She has no more gunshot wound. In fact, it looks like nothing's ever happened to her, but that's fine. Who cares about what happened to the robot? Maybe they just wrote it off. Maybe they got rid of the scene where they tell you that just by touching Nimrata, she was healed. Whatever. Who knows? So they bring John David Washington into this place to meet the person that he's been trying to find for the last hour and a half. And she is a vegetable. And they say, hey, we need you to actually do this. So he presses literally one button and then kills Nimrata. And it's like, okay, now we can go on to our big bang. But it was like, that was the most pointless. It was so pointless to me, because it was like, we came here to kill this character. I thought we came here for this character to help us, but the character didn't help us at all. In fact, the character needed our help to go on to our next destination. Like, also, there are points where the robots can't find Alfie. My iPhone can track other iPhones. These robots can't track where Alfie is. How can a robot lose a robot? That literally makes no sense to me. My iPhone can do that. We're in space. We're in the future. They're like, oh my God, where is it? When these robots get shot, they are yelling, oh no, someone's coming. Oh my God, I've been shot. How come they don't communicate like via the cloud so that the humans can't hear what they're saying? These robots are robots only when it's convenient, and when the second it's inconvenient for them to be robots, they're just humans. Like these robots are so human-like, and I know that they're trying to, like, oh, we're more different. We're not as different as you might think. Like, these robots have feelings and they have family, and they adopted Nimrata and they brought her into the family. But it was like the actual abilities of these robots, especially our main robot, was never defined. And sometimes they had abilities that made sense because they're robots, and sometimes they just conveniently didn't. Why is every robot on this base sleeping at the same exact time. Every robot here is asleep. And John David Washington literally just walks into there and steals a nuke, the greatest weapon ever created. He just walks in there and steals it, and every robot is asleep. That makes no sense to me. My iPhone knows when you turn your iPhone off, like your iPhone knows when you pick up your phone, even if the phone is off, like it knows that. And I got one more. This is my biggest. This was the worst
been
movie
to the office first? You ever been the first one in? You got to wake up the computer.
This was the worst movie scene I've seen this year. So,
oh my god,
our robot is tied up. Our robot is like the humans have acquired our robot, but they can't. The humans cannot turn the robot off for some reason. Only John David Washington can turn the robot off. So John David Washington comes into the room. Now the room is set up to where they have like a screen that shows you the vitals of the robot, which makes no sense, first of all, because how does a robot have vitals? But that's fine. We don't care. The screen has vitals on it, right? The screen is showing you the vitals of the robot, and they're saying, we want you to terminate the robot. We want you to terminate the weapon. So he walks in, presses quite literally one button, and the robot is dead. And the reason why we know the robot is dead is because the humans say, okay, that's it. The robot's been terminated. And the vitals on the screen go flat, right? So the robot's dead. We have a machine hooked up to this robot, and we can't tell that the robot was actually not dead, but it was in standby. That literally, how does that make sense? We can't tell with these machines whether a robot is actually terminated or on standby. That's the big reveal, because then the robot can go do its big superhero shit, because the humans were too stupid to realize that the iPhone is not dead. He just turned the iPhone into rest mode. Like that doesn't. There's so many decisions in this movie that make no sense, and it frustrated me because I wanted to cry. I wanted to be into the movie. There's this cute ass kid that's running away from people. She doesn't know who to trust, and I couldn't feel anything. And the whole last hour of this movie had no stakes, specifically because I was like, can this robot die? What does it mean for this robot to die? How does John David Washington's character, who's literally running out of oxygen when we see him, run towards his wife, who is a robot, another robot, run towards his wife like a full sprint towards her to hug her before they both blow up? Is that maybe that didn't really happen? Maybe that's like a visual thing. That's like a thing that didn't really happen. But it felt like the last half of this movie had no stakes because the robot thing was ill-defined. So I didn't really know what could happen. I don't know what happens if this robot kid gets shot. What happens with the robot kid? Who knows?
If you turn the robot off, it's dead. If you put it in standby, it can come back. That's the stakes. They told you.
Should our machine be able to? If we have vitals of this robot, shouldn't our machine be able to? If you fall asleep, Dex, and we have machines hooked to you, we can see based on the machine whether you are asleep or dead. It's easy. Your heart is still beating.
I also don't have the power to turn off machines. Like, I can't do that.
But she didn't turn off the machine that was reading her vitals. The machine, because if she turned off the machine, they would know she was alive, because they know she can do that. So she couldn't turn off the screen. So the screen just reads that her vitals are gone, but she's alive the whole time.
Honestly, I don't even remember vitals being a part of the scene at all, to be honest.
They have a screen with her vitals on it.
It's a big logic jump, but you had to know as a certified movie watcher and movie enjoyer that they were never going to kill her.
Yes, true. But
you knew that.
We don't have to do this. If we're going to do the scene where, oh my God, she's dead, then let's make it actually have stakes. It has no stakes, but it doesn't just not have stakes because we know she's going to die. At the end of Infinity War, we knew the Avengers were going to come back, but you still felt something when they disappeared because there's stakes there. There was never stakes here. John David Washington died at the end of this movie. I think was that your read on the film? Was that he died at the end?
100% they're dead.
So he's dead, and his robot. Why did we even do the thing with the robot wife if the robot wife was quite literally going to wake up for 10 seconds and get exploded? Like there was no. That's literally what happened. Like
we needed closure.
In the form of a robot that's going to get blown up.
It's a full circle of acceptance.
He's been searching for his wife this entire 2.5 hours.
Don't you need a 5-minute scene where he tells her how much he loves her and cares about her? Don't you have to put that in?
You just need this emotional, we're both about to die. Your consciousness is in this robot now. I have closure. I feel better. I die. I go to heaven. I feel good. I'm a good person now. I did a good thing. All right. I saved the kid. I saved the AI. We blew up the bad humans. I get to say bye to my dead wife.
All of this little minutia bothered you so much, but you know what?
This is not minutia. I would argue that this is not minutia. This is fundamental to the stakes of the plot. It's fundamental shit.
But you know what didn't bother you is that the robot is actually his daughter.
You haven't not his daughter. They use genetic material from the unborn fetus.
That didn't bother you
to imprint. No, because
like, yep.
Because at least they explained it. At least they tried to explain it. The stuff that I'm really mad at is the stuff that happened, and it's like I was left with the question, and there was quite literally no explanation. They don't even tell you how he loses his arm. He doesn't even talk about it. He's just making jokes like everything's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Who cares why he lost?
Literally matters. He has an arm gone. If it didn't matter, why would they show us that he has a bionic arm? Why would we see that?
Because it's cool. That's why.
Because he lost it in the Robot Wars, dude.
He lost it in the Robot Wars. It's hard out here.
It's literally like
nukes are going off in LA, man.
It's literally like he's a soldier. That's what it was. It just feeds into.
He's been through some things.
Yeah, that's all like character development. That shit. The arm does not matter. Doesn't matter.
the arm and the leg.
The arm does matter because the arm saves him. Because when he gets thrown out of a boat by all those robots, again, robots that can't scan shit, because he literally rides under the boat where the robots are.
I gotta agree with you. That was real dumb.
We can't scan. We can't be like, hold on, let's scan to make sure he's not like still alive. Nope, we're just gonna assume that he's dead. Like we don't see him anymore, so he's dead.
It really they don't. You're really giving too much faith in these robots that they aren't just like, because you look at AI now and you're like, this is stupid. Like it's like write me a stuff, you know. You look at AI and you're like, yeah, the robots will never win.
You're an idiot. We can never lose to these guys.
I think we're kind of looking at it as like, this is like Gen 1 of these AI robots, and she is the
Gen 2
archetype. Yeah, she's the iPhone 15. You know what I mean? Like she's like the iPhone to end all iPhones. But I think like you're like, they really wanted to make you feel like these things were human, didn't have like mega ultra power. Like they weren't. None of these robots were like OP, except
they were awful. They were way too weak. I've never seen R2-D2 have to sleep and let somebody sneak aboard the ship. You can't just sneak aboard the ship when R2-D2's there.
R2-D2 got thrown in a motherfucking trash compactor. Nobody gives a shit.
That was a horrible scene, by the way. Please respect R2-D2. He did not deserve that. He did not deserve that.
Can't hear you, Dex.
We can't hear you, Dex.
You're toying with your mic. And
R2-D2 did not deserve that. And these R2-D2 would have never let every robot on the ship sleep while a human came onto the ship. It would never happen. Never.
I really think that you're subscribing more powers to these.
If these robots are that weak, why are we in a war that we're almost losing to them? I don't. These robots better be formidable, or maybe they're just trying to say that Americans are dumb. Because if we can just flip a switch on their necks, there shouldn't be no war. It should be extremely easy to beat these robots. You literally just go flip a switch on their necks. You don't even have to bring a gun to the battlefield to do that. You literally just go flip.
You kind of do have to bring a gun when they got guns. You gotta get up close to them.
Not if they're all taking their daily nap when they're all asleep at the same damn time. Why do robots sleep? That doesn't make any sense. Why
they gotta recharge?
Hey man, if you want to win a war by running up on your opponents one at a time and touching them on the neck, you do that. I'm good.
John David Washington could have disabled every robot in that place because they were all asleep at the exact same time. All of them.
I guess. I mean, it's fine.
I hated it. I wanted the robots to be so much more. They gotta
power up somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They can't run on just infinite battery life forever.
This isn't the Terminator. You're really conflating this with like the Terminator.
Do you know how long ago the Terminator was made? That's literally my point. We have already seen. Yeah, of course they're different, but why are these robots so much worse and shittier? The Terminator came out 35 years ago.
It's like
you're drawing from every movie ever. Draw from that too.
It's like an Endgame where they're like, yeah, everything you've heard about time travel in other movies, throw it out the window right now.
Yeah, throw it out the window. Everything you know about AI and robots, throw it out the window. These robots are fucking idiots.
New robots. We're doing new things. My biggest problem with the robots is that they didn't let Alfie cook enough. Like, they didn't let Alfie get her shit off. I wanted Alfie to pop off. Where's her 50-point game? Like, they just had her just do their little, like, fucking, like, turn the lights off shit.
Cool power, though.
No, it's a cool ass power, but I wanted her to just really pop off one time. I thought we were building it the whole time, and they let her. There's a scene on the Nomad where she where they're like all scared of her, like in the room or whatever. I was like, oh damn, they're about to just do the Darth Vader Rogue One
turn
shit.
Up, yeah,
like literally, like they're just gonna do the hallway scene from Rogue One where she's Darth Vader and she's just fucking them up. But they didn't do that. Like, I just let her pop off, let her get her shit off.
Well, I mean, basically, she's a walking EMP. Honestly,
yeah, but like
their savior is an EMP. Man. That's crazy. She didn't. You got to catch them bodies, bro. You got to show us. Even if she catches the bodies by mistake and she goes, "Oh my god, I didn't mean to do that." You got to have her catch some bodies, bro. She's got to put up some numbers at least.
6.
She looked like Victor Wembanyama out there in his first summer league game, bro. I was unimpressed.
You got to show us the full scale of the powers. You're not getting a sequel, so we're not going to be able to see Alfie go off.
She absolutely is not getting a sequel.
You got to put that in this movie. I would watch a sequel, but they're not going to make it.
I would watch a sequel, but it's not happening because they're not making enough money.
Oh no, this is getting like kicked around. Gareth Edwards is going to have to direct another Star Wars or something like that.
To be fair to them, though, who could have expected that Saw 10 was going to be good? They haven't made a good Saw movie in like a decade.
Years, and it got like an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's unbelievable.
No one could have predicted that the 10th Saw was going to be good when Saw 3 through 9 were an absolute mess. Maybe 4 through 9, if I'm being gracious. They haven't made a good Saw movie in decades. So, yeah, it's not. They could not have guessed that, oh my God, Saw 10 is actually good. Whoops.
Saw got so bad, they started a spin-off franchise that was also bad.
That was also really bad.
They were like, fuck it. Let's throw
It's got Chris Rock, guys. Come to the movie theater. Y'all like Chris Rock, right? It was like, yeah, I do. But
everyone was like, no.
What's crazy about it, it's that it's like the same director and team behind like Saw 4 through 7 or something like that. And it's like, what changed? You know,
they brought Jigsaw back. That's what changed.
I will not be watching. I will never watch a Saw movie.
I'm good.
Jigsaw came back and dropped 60 like Kobe. Like, he went crazy. We needed Jigsaw back. We didn't. They had a random, oh, now the detective is the Saw killer. Oh, now this other lady is the Saw killer. And it was like, we don't care about any of these people. We just really like Jigsaw. And they took them 7 films to realize, hey, I think the people just want to see Jigsaw. Like, let's just put him back in the movie. And it really works.
Saw 10 is in between Saw 1 and 2.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
Let's make at least 4 more films that are between Saw 1 and 2. Let's just keep Jigsaw alive. Let's just keep doing it. Fuck it.
Wait, it's between them chronologically?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you meant it was between them like Rotten Tomatoes wise. Holy shit.
No.
Chronologically, they went all the way back.
It's higher than the first Saw movie. It's higher than any Saw movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's one of the highest rated movies of the year.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's really good.
Never watched it.
I had a good time.
Also, I can't believe we're on the second Paw Patrol movie.
Also a highly rated movie.
Yeah, that's nuts. We're on the second Paw Patrol movie, and it's like in the 80s on Rotten Tomatoes. We are cooked as a movie going public.
Wait, is the Exorcist movie going to be bad?
Yeah, the embargo dropped on that. 24% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, 24.
Yeah, no.
Well, shout out to Leslie Odom for getting checks. We respect you, brother, but damn.
Oh, David Gordon Green, what are you doing, man?
24?
And life is supposed to be so different for all of the Hamilton cast.
Yeah. And it just ain't. That's so crazy. David Gordon Green went from being like somebody that's like, we're going to put your first movie in the Criterion collection, to doing some silly comedies, to being like, I'm just going to do bad horror movies for Blumhouse. Bad horror remakes. Anyway,
And
the creator.
Leslie Odom Jr. got Glass Onion in there because
Yeah.
before that, woof.
David Diggs has the Snowpiercer series on TNT.
What have y'all been watching?
He was on Blackish for a minute.
Spotted. Oh, he was in Blackish for a minute.
Yeah, the creator, go see it. Hopefully it makes its money back. It actually was only, for as good as it looks, it was only $80 million only, but it was an $80 million movie. It's not like,
okay.
I thought it was $100 million movie. It looks like
Same.
It kind of looks like one.
I just assumed, me too.
It
was like $100-something million movie. When you
Maybe
said
John
35,
David's not.
I was like, oh, they're dead. But
I thought John David and Gemma Chan were getting top dollar out here, and maybe they are, but maybe they aren't.
No, that's why there aren't any like big stars. And I mean, John David Washington's now a recognizable name, but there's not like, I don't know, name a person, Chris Evans or whoever isn't in this movie.
Do y'all think this is going to be better if you ever watch the Adam Driver dinosaur movie where there's dinosaurs on the planet and he's in space or whatever?
I can firmly say that would be worse than this. Why did you compare it to that?
Because the trailers made me think about each other, and I realized that Dex and Mo did not see that film, which means nobody saw that film. But it looks like it was expensive. But if Dex didn't see it, that means nobody saw it, bro. Like Dex didn't even pull up. Dex was like, "No, I'm good. Like, I'm good."
And I've had no interest. Like I had no usually
I haven't heard one person talk about seeing it. I haven't seen one person be like, "I saw it."
There's a lot of times, like if I hear of a movie before it comes out and then I end up not seeing it, I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have got around to that. Not this one. I'm like, I'm good, dude. Like I don't care.
That was what was the name of that film?
65.
It was some year.
65, yeah. Let's play Guess the Box Office on 65 just because you brought up this movie. A movie that was supposed to come out years ago and I think had gone through crazy reshoots and everything. When I saw the trailer, you're right, TJ. I was like, I'm fucking in. He's killing dinosaurs with shotguns. Like, yeah, hell yeah. But apparently it just wasn't that. But $45 million budget.
Wow. I have no concept from the trailers how expensive these movies are. I thought the movie was going to be really expensive.
Yeah,
$45 million.
I'm not going to play the game because I looked at the Wikipedia page.
I'm going to say it made $11 million.
No, $60 million worldwide, actually.
It made money?
Yeah.
I didn't hear literally one person. No, not one person. I have seen nothing about that film. I've seen no one that said, I hated it or I loved it. I haven't seen literally nothing. It just came and went.
Shout out to Ariana Greenblatt, who's been in just now everything. She's in that movie.
It made money?
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah. Anyway.
Adam Driver might be unimpeachable out here. If that movie made money, he might be unimpeachable.
Who Ariana Greenblatt is.
Yeah, she's Gen Z. She's Gen Z Barbie.
Gen Z Barbie. Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's not Barbie.
Also young Gamora.
She's the one that says actually Barbie is bad and we shouldn't like you anymore. And
yeah.
Anyway. So what are we watching? I have finished Only Murders in the Building. This season was fine.
Was it good? Okay.
What season was this?
3. Yeah. It was fine. I don't have anything to write home about it. And then I moved on to try and finish the first season so I could start watching the second season of Welcome to Wrexham, which is actually pretty like a really well done documentary series.
Too wholesome
for you?
I watched
the
first 2 episodes and I was like, this is good, and I just never thought about it again.
It's too many episodes. It's like 25 episodes in the first season. I'm
Jesus.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like 20 episodes a season.
I like Ryan Reynolds as much as the next guy, but that's excessive. 25.
I think I like Ryan Reynolds a little less than the next guy does. I don't hate him or anything. I'm a little tired.
Well, no, we had this
That's
when we did the
insane.
Free Guy thing, I think years ago, or like a year ago now, where I'm like, I think I'm out, but then I watched this and I'm like, look, I get it, you know.
I get it. He
That
seems
movie
like
was better than it had any right to be. It's not a good
I
movie,
feel like
but
if I
it's not a
hung out
bad
with
movie.
him, I'd love him. But the all Deadpool all the time, Ryan Reynolds like rebrand, I'm not with it, man. Like, can we do anything else?
Deadpool
Can
3
we
is coming,
be
brothers.
anyone else?
I'm gonna be right there in the theater.
Well, he's an ad agent disguised as a super hot movie star. Everything that dude touches, everything that dude touches turns into gold. It's unbelievable.
I've been watching. Let's see. I told y'all in the chat. I went to go see Django Unchained in 35 millimeter on film.
How was that?
That's literally a perfect movie. It's just I could cry. It's just the greatest. It's just the greatest movie ever. Like I just had a great time. I'm watching Love Is Blind, the new season. It's a fucking mess in a good way. What else am I watching? I rewatched The Dark Knight. I'm going to rewatch. I rewatched The Dark Knight. I saw Dumb Money, and I saw Saw 10. Like I said, Dumb Money, pretty good. I was very, very surprised that they could make a movie about that particular topic that compelling, and it had Pete Davidson in it, which made me think this movie is just probably going to stink. Dumb Money, surprisingly good. I think it'll do very good on streaming once people, if it can get a second life. It's very well done. I really enjoyed Dumb Money.
They have rolled that out like it's supposed to be a big prestige movie, and it just hasn't come to like middle America theaters really, which is like kind of surprising. I don't know.
It's when it hits streaming, I think a lot of people are going to discover it. It is. I really enjoy it. I couldn't believe how funny it was. I couldn't believe how well done it was.
Dumb Money is a perfect top of Netflix movie that everyone would talk about for 2 weekends and then
exactly
never think about again. But yeah, until then, I don't think it has much of a chance at the box office.
The soundtrack is great, and it was my expectations were low just because of the topic. Not that I'm not interested in the topic, but how do you make everybody else interested in the topic? And they did a really good job of dumbing it down enough to make it interesting, but not enough to make you feel stupid. So I really enjoyed Dumb Money, actually. There's some other movie. I've been in the theater so much over the last couple of days, really catching up on my films, which has been amazing. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up my list. Right, Dex, you can go.
Honestly, haven't been watching very much. I feel like I spend all my free time watching sports now. So it's the best sports time of the year. You got playoff baseball. NBA is about to be back. NFL is back. The Houston Texans are back, baby.
Hell
CJ
yeah.
Stroud is out here.
Dude,
CJ Stroud.
I can't believe he's that good, bro. He's impressive, man. He looks so comfortable already. That's crazy.
And he's just fucking cool. Like every press conference, he says some shit that you're like, yeah, this kid's got it, man. Like he's him.
Also, y'all not really 5'8".
Also, not 5'8". Does not look like a Make-A-Wish kid out there. Like he's him. He's the one.
Lovie Smith really was he was not the hero that you wanted, but he was the hero that y'all needed because it all worked out the way it was supposed to. CJ Stroud is really him.
CJ Stroud is really shout out to Davis Mills for making the throw of his life
to only be benched and just walk around with his
thanks, Davis.
That poor guy just walking around with his helmet on,
4th and 20. The game on the line. What does Davis Mills do? He gives his job to CJ Stroud. That's what he does.
I bet you on that first day of practice, he probably already knew where it was going because they're drafting a quarterback that high. He's probably going to start, but he probably lined up on that first day of practice. And he was like, "Oh, this kid's actually like way more talented than I am. Like, it's not just because he just got here and he's a high draft pick. He's actually incredible, and he's doing stuff that I can't do yet. And I've been in the system for 3 years. CJ Stroud is really impressive. I can't hate.
Although that Mike Shanahan system, I have a theory that the Mike Shanahan system could make like me and you look like serviceable quarterbacks.
I'm throwing at least one pick in those 4 weeks. He's played 4 NFL games. He has not thrown a pick yet. That in itself, without even looking at any other stats, is insane. That doesn't make any sense. That
first interception is going to hit like a shotgun blast to the chest, but it's
going to be a tip. It's going to be off somebody's hands, and it's not going to be his fault. I get he's locked in, bro. He's focused. The Texans are making the playoffs this year. I wouldn't have said that even 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I believe if we beat Atlanta this weekend, then I'm like, yeah, we're going to the fucking playoffs. We might go to the fucking AFC Championship game because this food out here.
I need Bijan to run for 200 yards, and I need Stroud to throw for 400 yards. Fuck it. I just want to see them both go absolutely insane. That's what I want to see.
Free Bijan already, dog. Look what they got him out here working with.
The Atlanta Arthur Smith doesn't use his best players.
Kyle Pitts just out there running wind sprints. It's crazy. This is not an NFL podcast, but yeah, that's what I've been paying attention.
Are you saying that Desmond Ritter's not one of his best players? Is that what you're saying? That's a hot take right there.
Some would say, not I,
Street saying, not me. But.
Not me. I'm not an NFL evaluator, That's so funny. They just literally are like Kyle Pitts, just go run a deep route. You're 6'8". It's just like oh my God.
But yeah, I haven't had time to watch actual movies or TV yet. I need to get into Ahsoka now that it's over. Only Murders in the Building now that it's over. I think Loki starts tomorrow. So I'll be on that. But what?
I haven't seen anything negative. I saw people saying that this is the best thing that Marvel's ever done. I see multiple people see that. Multiple people I've seen this. This is probably the best thing Marvel's ever done.
Yeah, I'd seen a guy that I trust for the Rolling. I think Alan Sepinwall is his name for the Rolling Stones. Rolling Stone.
He said mid. He called it mid.
Well, he said it was up and down.
I can't wait, man. We need something. I feel like the MCU is they got to give me something. You got to give me a shot in the arm, and I don't trust that it's going to be the Marvels. I just don't trust that's going to be the show
I do.
that I need.
I'm hyped, dude.
I think that I'm going to enjoy the Marvels, but it's not going to make me like
for that before the creator, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I'm so back.
It's been a minute now because they've been delaying things and moving things around. What was the last thing that come out? Guardians of the Galaxy. Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion got shat on so bad.
That shit stunk.
That I've been down on it, and I haven't even thought about Marvel. But as soon as I get the first great project, I think as soon as Loki comes around, I just need it right. I'm gonna get it right in the main vein, I'm just Anyway.
I haven't even finished Secret Invasion, to be honest with you, because everyone shit on the finale so bad.
Don't finish it.
I'll read what happens. It's fine.
I watched the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka, and I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it as much as what was the one that came before it? Anyway, it came
Andor. Yeah.
Andor was fucking mind-blowingly good. It's amazing. But I was enjoying Ahsoka for the first 2 episodes. I have to finish it, but it's on my list. But then I started watching Love is Blind, of course, which is great cinema. It's just great. Netflix, keep them coming. I will keep watching. The Ultimatum, Love is Blind
is back again?
I will keep watching them. Yes, sir. It's back. We're back. We're so back.
You want to know what? Just do this?
Yes, they did.
You want to know what Caitlin and I watched? And then I'll wrap up. We watched the first episode of The Golden Bachelor that I'm sure that you've got inundated with commercials for.
I saw the commercial when I was watching football.
I'm not gonna lie, it might be better than the regular Bachelor. It's so heartfelt, it's unbelievably saccharine, and just old people falling in love. It gets me every single time. But yeah, I don't know. I was just like,
I think the original Bachelor has lost its soul a bit because now it's just people who want to come on there to be influencers or whatever. They don't even pretend to be falling in love anymore. They're just in it so that they can get their Instagram popping. But the old people, it's restoring the feeling a little bit.
Yeah, it's restoring the feeling a little, and it really is kind of what the show probably should be going forward. But the other one makes a ton of money anyway. Yeah, you can find us at One Take Podcast on Twitter, One Take Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, the like. Go follow our YouTube channel, One Take Podcast on YouTube. You can follow us at Les_HumbleTeej, at Lord Dex Hinton, and at Royden Ogletree on X, otherwise known as Twitter. And yeah, I don't have anything else. What are we doing next? What's next? There's something coming out
next. Killers of the Flower Moon comes out at towards the end of the month, on the 20th. But what's coming out in the interim?
Exorcist Believer.
Okay, are y'all getting the Meg Thee Stallion movie near y'all?
Probably
sure
not. If you know where I live.
I'm sure I am.
I gotta figure out if that's showing like at a movie theater that I'm willing
I will
to
be
drive
there.
to.
I will be seated.
Oh,
shout out to Dix the musical.
You know what's coming out next week? Taylor Swift, baby.
No, I will not be there.
I gotta
be there.
I'm gonna buy a ticket right now, actually.
I will
so I've been putting this off. But I will be seated. I'm sure they're gonna add more showings.
We'll discuss off pod what we'll end up doing next week. But
maybe it's time for a classic. Maybe it's time for a classic. We'll see.
Maybe as Dex's microphone decides to die. But Dex, what are we doing?
#support Florence Pugh.
All right, we're out.